Good morning. It's Thursday, the 13th of December, 2018, and a warm welcome along on a cold, cold day to this morning's United Kingdom talk, coming to, as always, from the Chapel Hill Marina here in Lincolnshire, boys and girls. I've been glued to the telly again this morning. I say glued to the telly, not quite. I sit there in the morning, I get up, right? I get up from here. I make the tea, I get my breakfast out the fridge, I sit down, I put the telly on, and I start looking for news stories and kind of watch. I multitask. Who can't do that? Can you multitask? My sister can't do that. Oh, she cannot multitask. She'll be talking on the phone, and you're having a conversation, then something will happen, and she'll be completely distracted and will forget that she's actually talking to you on the phone. I sat there one day waiting for 3 weeks for her to pick the phone back up, and it didn't happen. I can hear all this commotion going on around her, dogs barking, children screaming and shouting. Dear me. Shall I say an early hello to people today? Yes, let's do an early hello. Good morning to... I've written a song. I'm going to sing it to you in a minute. Now, I don't quite have the background music proper. That's going to come off the iPad. It's only a little parody, which I did this morning in 10 minutes. I hope you'll be suitably impressed. I thought, oh, I don't know, this sounds a bit crap to me. Shall I sing it or shall I not? But I will, in a moment. First of all, Adam the Plumber, good morning. Adam the Plumber retrieves, I like that word, retrieves. He retrieves his crown as king of getting the first message of the Facebook day in this morning. Good morning, Adam the Plumber. Do you know I was watching back on my show yesterday? No, I don't watch my shows back. Honestly, I don't. But I finished the show yesterday. I took my microphone off as you were watching that little film at the end, and I thought, that was a really crap show. Did you think it was crap yesterday? Be honest. Did you think that was a crap show yesterday? Because I did. I took the microphone off and I thought, well, that was a load of rubbish this morning, weren't it? Never mind. We'll try and do better today. Yes, good morning, Adam the Plumber. Colin's there. Good morning, lovely Colin. Colin and I have to say, I agree with so many of your posts, Colin. I absolutely do. And you use my favourite word in so many of your posts, beginning with the word "see," didn't you, Ben? Colin, sorry. Morning to Katie and Patterson. Morning. Adrian Richardson. Thanks for a vote sent in by O2. There's no votes coming in, dear. Who voted on O2? Hello, Diane Jeb. Hello, sweetheart. All right. Chris Manzar, the vote of confidence. I'm feeling extremely confident this morning. I am. Craig McKenzie. Okay, hello. Morning. Oh, he's got Oh, poor Craig's got man flu. Have you? Have you got, I don't know, have you got a missus? Is there a missus there? Have you, Mrs. Oh, what's the word? Would have been Mackenzie. Mrs. Mackenzie. Could you bring me some tea? Are you a bit like that this morning, Craig? Come on, stop putting it on. Get out there. Be a man, dear. Be a man. You must work through it. Do you know what? The best... Adrian, you'll relate to this. The best... what's the word? Oh, I can't remember now. I can't remember the word. The fix. The best fix. You know, when you're ill, when you get something to sort it out. Oh, what's that called? How blimmin' hell. Do you know, these words... Have you noticed I'm forgetting more and more words? I'm sure I've got dementia. What's that word? Result? No, the best... Oh, cure. God, where was that word? The best cure for a cold or flu I discovered back in the 90s when I used to go to this club called Trade, right? And I would go down there on a couple of times, not feeling well, with real cold. We'd dance all night. By the time you come out of there, it was gone. Gone. That is the best ever cure, going to Trade with the cold or terrible flu or something like that. That's absolutely true, that is, Adrian. I bet you did the same as well. Morning to, let me just scroll down there. Morning to Jerry Cashmore Smith. Good morning, Jerry. Are you out of hospital yet? You seem to have been there a long time, dear. Am I being played on hospital radio stations all over the country? That'll excite a few people, won't it, eh? I'm going to sing in a minute. Morning to Bernadette Lake. Good morning, Bernie. I gather we're coming up to you Sunday week. Is that right? Bernadette lives up the road there. Family member. I think we're coming up to you Sunday week because I'm here that Sunday. Morning to Wayne Martin. Are you driving a bus somewhere this morning, Wayne? Are you playing that old game where you wait for an elderly person to just get off the bus and try and close the door on their coat or bag so you drag them along? That's a competition that some of the bus drivers do. I mentioned that a few months ago. Do you remember? What they do is they wait for an elderly person or someone who's, you know, not quite good with the walking to try and get off the bus. They push the button, the doors close, get caught in the doors, and they see how far along that the person can be dragged before the doors are released. It's a little competition all the bus drivers play in Bracknell, I gather. Morning to Martin Edwards. Thank you. This is the first time you've seen this, is it, Martin? It's been up about a week. It's nice, isn't it? I've got 2 festive backdrops. One for up here in Lincolnshire and one for down in Berkshire, which you'll see on Saturday morning, I would guess. Morning to William McKay. William McKay, who is recuperating from shoulder surgery. Has it been replaced? Can they replace shoulders? Can they replace shoulders? I didn't know that. Morning, William. Hope you're better. Craig says it's serious. Craig, this is the one with man flu this morning. I sneezed 3 times. She doesn't understand our serious. Oh, you should have seen me last night. My niece, I have a problem with asthma with animal fur. In particular, it seems to be retriever type dogs and not Dalmatians. What's those other things? You know those retriever type. There's another word. It won't come. Golden retrievers, you know, but the black one. Labradors. I have a problem with, in particular, it would seem with Labradors. I don't know if it's the size of the hair or whatever. And last week, my niece had a Labrador in the house. And it started, the chest started there, you know. And the dog's gone now, but it was happening again last night, unfortunately. So, yeah, so, well, I hope your sneezing gets better. Go and get some tissues or something. Katie, thank you. This is the word fix, not fix, not drugs, not Vicks, Katie. It was indeed cure. Adam, she's here, come to stay. What may I love you, tear in my dying day. Oh, what a nice song to sing about our Teresa. Morning to nephew Gary Butler. Good morning. Thanks, Gary, for sending me the link to the 50-inch television, which I sent them a message straight away. It's gone. I'm after a 50-inch television, boys and girls. Needs to have HDMI sockets. Second-hand. Don't want it new, but I don't want to pay any more than 50 quid. Second-hand, because it's for the caravan. You don't really want anything expensive in a caravan, in case it gets broken into, you see. My nephew found one last night. I messaged him straight away, and it was gone. So that went quick, didn't it? Vicks on the bottom of your feet. Vicks on the bottom of your feet. What, to cure a cold? Well, that's nowhere near your nose, is it? Unless you've got a big nose, like me. Look at this. Have you seen this? Barry Manilow's got nothing on this nose, I'm telling you. And this hasn't been adjusted in any way, shape or form. Thank you. Oh, Jerry is home now. I'm glad about that, Jerry. Glad you're home now. Wayne is at home watching me. You'd make a good bus driver. Ding, ding. Oh, mind the doors. Oh, no, that's the tube train, isn't it? Mind the... I used to love that. Oh, my God. I used to love the doors closing, because they don't now, do they? I mean, they do close, but you've got to do it yourself. Or it's like they don't all close at the same time. So you don't get that noise. You know, mind the doors, and then you get the squeak of air. And you'd hear all the doors closing at the same time on those old District Line trains, and all the others actually. But the District Line, they were particularly noisy. You don't get that now. They go, but they don't all open and close at the same time because you've got to push a button. Boring. How is that going forward? I love that. Shall we do the noise once again? Here we go. Mind the doors. And you'd hear all the others close like as it echoed down the platform. Wonderful times there. That's when I used to go to school. Putney Bridge Station to Fulham Broadway. It's only 2 stops. Oh, I loved it. And then there'd be someone trying to pull the doors open to get in at the last minute and push their way on. I'm sure there used to be dirty old men trying to push themselves up against me as a schoolboy in the carriage. I'm sure that was going on. Let's have a look. Craig, I bought the 10x8 backdrop ready for the old folks gigs. Ordered the stands. Oh, I haven't got any stands. This is not on a stand. This is I just used a gun stapler up on the wall, mate. Same as the one in the office at our Bracknell television studio complex. Gun stapler, dear. Gun stapler. I love it. Don't you love it? Did you ever nick the gun stapler at school and start firing at other kids? That's the sort of thing great nephew Harry Butler would do. I know it. Of course, as a child, you're oblivious to the fact that one of those staples could end up in someone's eye, aren't you? Oh, no, no. Shut up! I remember the maths teacher once stapled a child against the wall because he wouldn't shut up. Oh, dear. Couldn't do it now. Oh, the mothers have been screaming, "What you doing to my kid?" Well, your kid just threw something at someone else. Well, it don't mean you can staple them against the wall. Why not? Why not? In fact, I'd go one further. Staple the child against the wall and start throwing rotten tomatoes at them. Or buckets of freezing cold water. I won't do that again, dear. Won't do it. Yeah, this is no good. Oh, you shouldn't do that. Sit down. They don't take any notice of that. No, rotten tomatoes. That is the answer. And stapled against her. Would you like me at some point to bring a child in here and staple them on that wall? I reckon I could get hold of one of my great nieces and great nephews to do that. But unfortunately, they haven't done anything wrong. Well, of course, they can't do anything wrong in my eyes. But I would have to, they would probably be laughing rather than scared. Because it's me. Can you imagine someone from the social services watching this now? You know, one of those with no sense of the humour. Oh, what a terrible man he is, thinking that that should be done to a child and that should be stapled against the wall. They don't get it, do they? Don't get it, dear. Craig, I can't staple the thing in an old folks' home. I'd be barred. What, you think they'd notice that, Craig? They don't know what's going on, dear. They're all drugged up in old people's homes. Haven't you seen them? When you go round to see Auntie Doris. Hello, Auntie Doris, how are you? And they're smiling because they've had an injection of pethidone or something like that. I had one of those once when I had my burst appendix. Oh yes, my major life-saving operation at the ghastly Wrexham Park Hospital in Royal Berkshire, in Slough, also known as Slough. I was in great pain, and I think it was a nurse, came round and gave me a pethidone injection in my bum. Then 5 minutes later, instead of being, I'm like, and he come round, I remember, he come round and says, "How are you feeling now, Chris?" And I'm like, "Oh, all right." I asked for another one, for the nurse from hell was there. The nurse from hell was there. "Can I have another pethidone injection, please?" "Not unless you need it." And walked off. Miserable old bag. Miserable old bag. Let me have a look here. One moment, please. Hello to Angela Waters. Good morning, Adrian. Where are we here? I'm losing the place here. Good morning to Christopher Jackson. Why does it keep coming up as you being in Lincoln? Thought you lived in Bracknell. Well, you obviously missed the beginning of the show, didn't you? You see, that's the trouble, Chris. You haven't seen this. Gary, what have you just sent me? Oh, my God, my nephew's just sent me a really rude video. That is disgusting. Will you not send me stuff like that, please? My nephew sends the worst videos that would have you chucking up all over the road. I'm telling you that now. Dear me. Christopher, you're obviously not. You've missed all the shows. You don't look at my. I'm not explaining it all now. Millions of people all over the world know where I go and what I do. You don't, because you don't keep in contact. What can I do? No one keeps in contact anymore. Nobody loves me. I am unloved and unwanted by the world, except for my entertainment shows. Good morning to Jeannie D. Good morning, Jeannie. Who says it won't. What won't display, darling? You say, Jeannie D, hello, Christopher, darling, and then you say won't display. Won't display? Display? Try that again, Jeannie D. I don't know what you're saying, darling. Good. Right, so, on the subject of the... no, I won't tell you what the subject is. I won't tell you what the subject is. But yesterday, of course, we had a very, very important vote. There was not for us, for the MPs, for the Conservative MPs. And once again on the television this morning, they're shouting and they're screaming and they're moaning, she should go, da-da-da-da-da, on and on and on. And we have talked about this before. This happened about 3 or 4 competitions ago, where people know. Oh, hang on a minute. Let's just say hello to the people on the text. Let's. I nearly forgot that. I always forget this blooming text thing for some reason. I wish I could get it to come up on my computer screen, but I can't. There's a texting number as well. It is only for text. If you ring it, no one will answer. Okay. Good morning to Peter in Woodall Spa. On United Kingdom Talk. I went to the pub last night on the way home from the pub. It was very, very cold. Not here anymore, not since I've got my mobile gas heater. My mobile gas heater. Good morning to Maureen, who's also with us this morning. And the lovely Simon Keane. Now, what's he say? I didn't mean to upset you, Mr. Chop Chop. Please accept my apologies. For what? What have you upset me with? You haven't upset. Why do you think why do you think you've upset me, Simon? No one upsets me, dear. If I got upset by everything people said, we wouldn't be here anymore. I'll tell you that now. You just, I don't know what, but although you haven't, I don't know what you think you've sent to. What do you think you've sent me to upset me? Please let me know. What do you think you've sent? Because I haven't found anything. Anyway, back to the story. Yeah, once again, they're screaming and shouting, oh, well, she won, but she should still go, and da-da-da-da-da-da. And this happened a couple of elections ago, where people just don't accept results anymore. Is this anything to do with the X Factor or Twitter or anything like that? I do not know. You know, gone are the days where we'd have some sort of competition, and this is very similar to what I said some months ago, about a year ago now. Whereas you do something, whether it be at one end of the scale, a general election, or at the other end of the scale, a karaoke competition. So you have what is basically a competition, someone wins, and what used to happen, oh well, they won, I didn't think they should have won, but they won, so congratulations, right? That's what used to happen. For years and years and years, since I was a little child, that's what happens. Some talent competition, something like that. You know, little George wins it and David doesn't win it. You know, David's parents wouldn't go running up to the teacher and say, hang on a minute, my child should have won that. My child's much better than them. But that is exactly what happens now. Why is that? Why is it like that now? And it's the same with the last general election. Okay, we all thought the Labour lot were going to get in, but the Conservatives got in. Okay, people start marching on the streets. We want another general election. We're not happy with this result. The referendum, exactly the same. And every time there's a vote on something, everyone comes on the telly saying that we should have another vote. They were talking about it last night, you know, the whole Theresa May. Well, now, at the end of the day, you know, she won. She won, and I think it was... There was a difference of 117, 200... A difference of rough... Oh, I can't remember the numbers now. Was it about 200? The difference was 200. I think about a third of her people didn't vote for her. I think I'm right in saying roughly a third, which means 2/3 did. But there he was on the telly again, that posh one, Jacob Rees-Mogg, saying, oh, well, I know she won, but I think she should still go to the Queen and resign. What? Did you see the competition? And it seems to me these days, no matter what the result is, people want to have another go. I don't get it. How's it come to this? In which case, how can it ever work again? I think we're on a very dangerous road here, you know, because at some point someone's going to say, well, you know, it's pointless having a vote on this or having this competition. I personally won't hold karaoke competitions because of this, because someone wins, which is never anything to do with me. I am a host I'm not a judge, I'm a host. And I've done a few karaoke competitions where I've hosted. So you've gone through the weeks or months or whatever it is. At the end of it, you have the final, someone wins. Okay? And then you start getting people, well, I don't think he should have won, Chris. That one's much better. Or even the contestants come up to you as the host afterwards and say, well, she shouldn't have won. I'm a much better singer. Really? Is that what you... Is that really... It's kind of an overconfidence thing, which I find a complete turn-off. Overconfidence is a real turn-off, I feel. I have to tell you, sitting here doing this, doing karaoke, anything that I do, I'm never really that confident. It may come across as that, but I'm not. Believe me. I have a very, very low opinion of everything that I've ever done. Maybe not when I was in my early 20s, you know, when you're a young man and you think you're the bee's knees, don't you? I thought that. I thought that as well. Not now. As you get older, you kind of lose that confidence. I'm not really confident in anything I do. I just sit here and talk to you. That's it. But the whole karaoke competition, and you start getting emails. Oh, well, hi, Chris. I'm afraid I won't be coming to any of your competitions anymore because I should have won because I was the better singer. What? What planet are people on? I know we got the whole Theresa May thing that was on the telly yesterday, of course, with a vote of no confidence, of which about 2/3 of her people voted for her, 1/3 didn't, and they're on the telly again this morning. Well, what happens next? Will there be another vote? That every time we have a vote, someone wants another vote. What? How did it get to this? And I just don't get it. Anyway, I'll come to your messages in a moment, boys and girls. First of all, see what you think of this. Now, the music won't be very loud because I can't get the music. I can get the music to come through the system directly, but unfortunately, I can't hear it then. So you're going to have to put up with this. See what I think of this. I wrote this in 10 minutes. I've never written a little song before, but for some reason, this came into my head. See what you think. You ready? Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. If I can just get the music up. 1 moment, please. At first she was afraid, she was petrified. Mrs. May went to her party, she thought she'd be crucified. But then her friends all rallied round and they put their papers in the box and then they counted. 2 hours to count that little lot, and so she's back. Walking back into that door, had 2 glasses of wine, and now she's on the plane to see the pissed old fart junker and the rest of that Brussels lot. Will they change their minds about the backstop? Oh, who knows? Ask an Echo Dot today, and she's back. That's it. And I stopped at that point because it was taking too much of my time up. Should I continue and see if I can write any more on that song? Ah! There we are, dear. That's my song written this morning, which will be available in iTunes and hopefully in the UK Top 40 on Radio 1. Just a thought for you. Right, back to your messages, gang. Here we go. Where are we? Good morning to Roy Brownlow, joining us a little late this morning. Morning, Roy. Angela Walters said, floods in Melbourne, Australia. So much rain. Oh, my word. You do get it there, don't you? Floods or bushfires, such extreme weathers in Australia. Brisbane, apparently. Katie in Brisbane hasn't got any rain at all. Oh, dear. Well, if she could send you bags of water in the post, FedEx. FedEx, highly recommended. Jerry Cashmore's fifth, he says it's 113 against 204. So, yeah, that's about 2/3 to 1/3, isn't it? I was right there, yeah. Jeannie D, that's what I like about your karaoke. It isn't biased. No, and never will be, Jeannie D. Have you ever heard me, either on here or on the stage, point at someone and say you were a crap singer? Unless I know them really well, I might have a joke with them. Okay, never in 1,000 years, no. Jacob Rees-Mogg, that was the one. Yeah, he was on the telly this morning. Well, yes, I know she won, but I think she should still go to the Queen and resign. Why? She won! Why? They are crybabies, Manzar. Sorry, Chris. They are crybabies. But it's not just the referendum, you see. That's not just what I'm talking about. Or the Theresa May vote. Or the elections. It's everything. Whenever someone else wins, everyone's like, oh no, they should have won and all that. You've seen some of these bloody parents at school. Do you know what? One of the saddest things I've seen, and this wasn't even recently, this was about 10, maybe 15 years ago, was I'd gone to my nephew. I'd gone to a football pitch at some godforsaken hour on a Sunday morning in the middle of bloody winter, freezing myself, absolutely freezing, to watch my nephew play football. I think he was 10. And all these kids are playing football. Really no interest in the game at all, but it is, you know what I mean? It was in playing. And there were fathers around the pitch, 10-year-old little boys, fathers around the pitch, shouting and screaming at their boys that they were useless. How can you do that? Yeah, you're a real man, aren't you? Shouting, screaming at you. Oh, don't say that. I say what I like to my son. You're a nasty, nasty piece of goods. But people just don't like to lose competitions anymore. They really don't. Years ago, I came second place at the Pontins. The Pontins Amateur Children's Talent Competition. I came second. Right? My mum and dad didn't go up to the Bluecoats and start complaining that I was the best thing since sliced bread and I should have won. We sat there and we clapped and we clapped the winner. You see this at karaoke nights as well. Even when there's no competitions, there are certain people who only go up to sing their song. The rest of the people on the stage, they're not interested in. They don't clap. They don't look up from their bloody mobile phones. They just sit there waiting for their turn. Then they want all the stardom and all that, the lights on them, the sound. They sing their song. Oh, thank you ever much. Thank you ever so much, everyone. And then you sit back, head back down into the phone, tap, 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 and don't see anything going on around them or clap for anyone else. Funny, isn't it? John Brown, hello to you. John was selected to serve a purpose, a puppet. Now, that's the other thing you see. That's the other thing. We're not talking about the referendum. We're talking about the whole thing. And you've only got to mention Brexit and people start screaming and shouting. There was a post someone put on the other day, which was, what was it now? It was something that some, let's not get into an argument. Oh, that was it. Let me see. I think I can scroll down and even find it. I might be able to read it out to you. Yes. So I just put a little comment. This was yesterday morning. Oops. Let's click back there. Yesterday morning, I'd been watching the news, and this lectern came out. You know, before she'd come and made her little speech yesterday morning, the lectern came out, and all I did was put the lectern. Oh dear, the lectern is out. And two people broke out into an almighty row on there about Brexit. Like the conversation was about Brexit, which it wasn't. Which is just a lectern come out. Oh dear, a lectern out. It's like a comedy. But no, people can't see the funny side of anything anymore. Don't know why. Here we are, look, John Brown's going off on it there. You're all being led by the garden path. Can you not see the media and politics are carefully planned, all concerted deceptions? Morning to Stafford. Mr. Blake is there. Morning to Ray Reynolds, joining us late tonight. I aren't sitting now. People are talking about it. Look, not being led anywhere. If you act, you're being led. Same thing with Trump here. And we're going off on one again. We're going on off one again. They're talking about Brexit when that really wasn't the subject. Ferrell Joseph, a very good morning to you. Young Ferrell, I'm last. Late is the word. Oh yeah, you correct yourself, late. Paul and Lou, good morning. Who came first? What, the chicken or the egg? Did you see me doing the 12 Days of Christmas the other night on the karaoke? I do a wicked impression of animals on that. Hello to the Shed Singer, good morning. Got you streaming on Million Radio. Oh yeah, you're welcome. I know there's some people that run not pirate radios, silly. There's no pirate radio stations anymore. It's all legal online. Running a few online radio stations. And you are welcome if you ever want to take the show, then that's fine as well. And you can rebroadcast that. You don't need my permission, okay? I'm not a copyright person or worried that someone's going to nick anything or anything like that. Did we say good morning to Claire this morning? Have we said good morning to you, Claire? Oh, I think I might have jumped forward a little bit here. Just a moment, my darlings. Hello to... Oh, that's strange letters there from Thailand. I'm really sorry. I can't read foreign, like, if it's like hieroglyphic type things, which you've got. It looks like Aaron, but in little letters and things. So hello to you from Thailand, a country that I've never been to, Thailand. And I really would like to go to Thailand and see what that's like. You know, somewhere quiet, not necessarily Bangkok. I think that might be a bit too much for me, Bangkok. Maybe one day there. Far too many people running around, all that there. Okay, good. What's Paul and Lou say there? In the talent competition. Are you in a talent competition? There we are. So, got a couple of news stories for you today. Peter in Woodall Spa says hello to Bernie and Dad and Danny as well are with us on the show this morning. I haven't told you what I did yesterday. I thought I might do news stories instead of telling you what I did yesterday for a change. Is that all right with you? We might do what I did yesterday, depending on the time. See how we're doing on time. Now, where are my news stories here? Quite a lot I've been picking out today. Something not Brexit, which is getting a bit too much. All this stuff they're all chatting about on there. But as I say, you've only got try it today yourself. On your status bar, put Brexit. What do you think? And watch them all rowing. They were the same during the elections. You don't dare put up on your Facebook wall anymore who you're gonna vote for. They go mad. People are attacking each other left, right, and centre. Keyboard warriors, and on and on and on it all goes. Oh, it's too much. Anyway, BBC Television. How much to build a house? Eh? How much does it actually cost to build a house? Okay? Probably nowhere in a lot more than it would cost to build a television set. Eastenders. Are they real buildings or are they like, like little bits of scenery and that? Well, I can't believe how... Where's my glasses? Oh, God. There they are. I can't believe this story. In the Daily Mail and various other papers this morning, the BBC has been accused of outrageously overspending licence fee cash after it emerged that the new Eastenders set will cost. How much do you think I tell you what, how much do you think the new Eastenders set will cost the BBC? Now, television set, what do you reckon? A few bits of, I don't know, plasterboard, a little bit of painting, some sort of special effects there to make it look real. I don't know, a few £100,000. EastEnders, remember EastEnders? Now, I don't watch EastEnders, but there's a lot there, isn't there? It's almost like a whole sort of small town or village, isn't it? Rather than just a few cut out things like Big Ben and what have you. Well, it says in the Daily Mail, it emerged that the new EastEnders set will cost £86.7 million. Let me read you that figure again. In the Daily Mail this morning, the new EastEnders set will cost £86.7 million. Now, I'm not an expert on television stuff or anything like that. I have an interest in television, mainly old television. But that sounds a hell of a lot of money to me, doesn't it, you? It's £27 million over the original budget. So the original budget was more than 50 million, 60 million, was it? And is expected to take, it's going to be 5 years late. How long does it take to build something like that? Don't these people in Hollywood knock something up in a few days? Work to rebuild and extend Albert Square was due to be completed in August at the cost of £59.7 million. But a damning National Audit Office report published today finds that the BBC's poor planning and lack of expertise mean it will cost 45% more and will not be completed until May in 2023. The National Audit Office says the BBC will not be able to deliver value for money with a project named E20 after the soap opera's fictional Warford postcode, which is being funded entirely from the £150.50 a year TV licence fee. Now, there's another little TV licence fee story I was going to tell you, and I had this the other day. I got an email and it said TV licensing at the top, but it's a scam telling me that I need to renew my licence now because it's going to run out on December whatever. Well, I happen to know the exact date when my TV licence runs out, and that wasn't the one. In fact, it's nowhere near that. So be warned of that. If you get a reminder email from TV licensing, don't automatically start clicking through click here links, because that's where you can come apart. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to go in a minute because my chest is playing up a little bit this morning. This is the dog at my niece's house. It goes on and on. You don't just leave the house and immediately your lungs start working again. It takes ages for it to come out again. I don't know why. Yes, so watch that. Don't do click-throughs on TV licensing. Go on the TV licensing site and renew it there when your date is up. You should always print it off anyway, so you've got a paper copy there, but there's a scam going around for that, all right? Where are we? Let's scroll down a bit there. We've got pictures of the various... Oh, there's the lovely Dot Cotton, look. We like Dot Cotton, don't we? How old is she now? Christ. The current Eastenders set at Elstree Studios in Hertfordshire was born in 1984 using steel frames, plywood and plaster brick panels. It was intended to last only 2 years. The poor quality of construction means high-definition filming is not possible, while health and safety concerns have caused delays to filming. The BBC is building a new front lot, a brickwork replica of the current set, and a back lot which will provide extra locations to better reflect modern East End London. It's been reported that one of the new locations will be a mosque. The front lot is now expected... Well, there is a mosque in East London, isn't there? Isn't that the biggest one in the country? Now, where's that? Isn't that near Whitechapel, around that area, that mosque? It's massive. And, of course, I think it's on a Friday afternoon. You don't want to be round there on a Friday afternoon because, of course, they all go and pray on a Friday afternoon, the Muslims. And they all come out, and you can't get anywhere. I remember that. That was the same at Bracknell Leisure Centre. I think it's a Friday that the Muslims go. I'm not 100% sure. I think that's their like holy day. Like the Christians is a Sunday, isn't it? I think the Muslims is a Friday, and a Friday afternoon you can get caught up in all sorts of traffic with people going to and from their various prayers. Constructions. The front lot is expected to cost £54.7 million, 75% more than planned after it took 11 months for the BBC to negotiate with its contractor. Construction there has only just begun, and responsibility lies with a bloke called Richard Dawkins, the £195,000 a year Chief Operating Officer of BBC Content. So, I mean, that's a lot of money, isn't it? That's a lot of money. I had no idea how much these things do cost, but that seems a hell of a lot to me. An awful lot of money. So there we are. BBC spending money, but it'll look good on the telly, and that's all that matters, isn't it? That's all you're worried about. The fact that it looks good on the telly. Let's have a look. The Shed Singer. Apparently my radio show it's all for charity, and the residents of retirement homes, they'll be having a laugh with you. That's what we like to do. Laugh at life, dear. Laugh at life. That's what we do. Little. 113,000 listeners just fell in love with you. There's no 13,000 listeners falling in love with me, dear. Nobody loves me. Nobody wants me. I'm unwanted and unloved. Even the cat died last year. Terrible. I was holding her and I was talking and I could see her eyes drifting off and she just died. Are you in a shed? Is your radio station in a shed? A friend of mine does a radio show from his shed. Oh, he does make me laugh, dear. His name's Ross Patzelt. Nice fella. He does a show on Reach Radio. He does it in his shed. He's got a little family. He's got his wife, or maybe his girlfriend. Are they married? Oh, it doesn't matter. Not these days. Doesn't matter, does it? I think he's got his girlfriend, and they got a little girl, and he's got a little radio station in a shed. And I think he spent ages trying. He couldn't get the Wi-Fi to communicate with his router, which was in the house. And we were all telling him, he said, no, you don't want Wi-Fi, not doing radio, really, or videos. Although this is all Wi-Fi. There's no wires here. I've got no internet here. It's all over 4G. Did you know? Isn't that interesting, Shed Man? I call you Shed Man. Isn't that interesting? I've got no wires here, but the best way to do anything like that... Oh, God, do you know what? I'm going to have some of my asthma stuff. Can you hang on a minute? This is getting silly. I can't bleed and breathe here. This is all due to that blasted dog my niece had in her house a couple of weeks ago. Right, I'm going to have to unplug myself. I'll be back in a minute. I was all tangled up. Now, give me a minute. I'll be back. Oh, dear me. Sorry, gang. It's really quite bad, this pet fur allergy thing. It's not only the breathing. If I stroke it and I get it like that or do that, it's just an absolute nightmare. I've tried those little white tablets. Well, they antihistamine things. They don't seem to be doing anything either. But it's an absolute. The trouble is, you leave the house and yeah, you get better. But this will carry on for days now because of me going around to my niece's house and being there for a few hours. Not as bad, actually, as my sister's house. That is the worst place. I'm practically gasping for breath in there after about an hour. It's terrible. Man, what's that? Something just fell on the floor. Never mind. Don't know what that was. Let's have a look here. Back to your messages then. Katie's absolutely right. All that money could feed an awful lot of homeless people, couldn't it? That the BBC have done on their Eastenders set. Terrible how much money. How much does a Doctor Who set cost then? I don't know, Jeannie D. It has to be said, that 87 odd million pounds that they've spent on that, how much comes into the BBC, I wonder, through sales of that television programme? Because it's sold all over the world, isn't it? I remember being in Australia, I think, and Eastenders and Doctor Who and a lot of stuff's on there. So I don't know how much, you know, for 87 million pounds, we don't know, do we? We're not like BBC people. That may be insignificant in the amount of money that comes in from those programme sales, perhaps. I should imagine they make an awful lot on Doctor Who. I remember when The Sound of Music was first shown on the BBC One colour at Christmas in the 1980s, and it was big news. The BBC spends £1 million on The Sound of Music. At the time, that was the most they'd ever spent on a film. I remember that. Now look at the money that's shoved around all over the place. This particular programme, incidentally, boys and girls, is costing you nothing. I wouldn't dream of attempting to make any money out of this, because you wouldn't pay, would you? Be honest. You wouldn't pay. Katie, do you pay for TV? Not myself, no. The only pay TV I've got is Netflix, which costs me about £10 a month. I don't have Sky. I cannot believe how much people pay for Sky Television. My God. Or BT Sport, because they like sport. You see, when I was a boy, Katie, and the same as you when you was a little girl, all television was free. We never paid for anything. The BBC, as is now, was paid for by the licence fee. ITV was done with commercials. And then all these pay TVs, and I have to be honest, when it first came out, I had Sky and BSB, was paying out for both of those. But after a couple of years, I suddenly thought to myself, well, how much of that telly do you watch? And it was I've watched about 4 films. So I cancelled all of it. They don't like that, do they, when you cancel them? They go, oh, the letters keep coming from the post. Various special offers, this, that and the other. Nope, I've never had it again. And I signed up to Netflix 1 year ago, about a year ago now. Specifically for Star Trek. Specifically for Star Trek, which someone tells me is coming back on Netflix on December the 17th. But I like other stuff on there. Anne with an E, I like that. Anne with an E. Dynasty is hilarious. They've got some really charming Christmas films on there at the moment. But apart from Netflix, no, I don't pay for TV. I don't have any paid TV, okay? Paul and Lou. I'd love to know what Jacob Rees-Mogg drives. I bet it's a horse and carriage. Adam the plumber is quite right. It's now a year. It's just over a year now since I lost my cat, Katie the cat. I do miss her. I really miss Katie the cat. She was a wonderful little friendly thing, she was. Always happy to be picked up and a little bit of a cuddle. Yeah. Katie the cat, if you didn't know, she was my mother's cat. And when my mother died in 2000, I took her on. And at first, she was really quite upset, the cat, and wouldn't come near me, hissing and spitting at me. And then after a couple of days, I just left her alone. And eventually she came to me, and all was well and good after that. I think they don't like being moved, do they, cats, into sort of another area. But now, and then she had a garden, and many, many happy years, Katie the cat. Yeah, I do miss her. The Shed Singer. I even did an album with Robbie Williams' dad in here. And it's only 8 foot by 6 foot. Oh, I'm sure this is... No, this isn't 6 foot. I don't think this is 6... I don't think I could lay from one end to the other going that way. I could that way. That's... I suppose that's probably about 8 foot. I don't know if that... I don't think that's 6 foot there at all, my friend. Tiny little rooms. Yeah, my cat's name was Katie. The same as yours, darling. Katie also has Netflix. Adrian, you are cheap, but we love it. Cheap is my middle name, my friend. Anne with an E. Oh, you've seen it as well. Isn't it charming? It's a bit like Little House on the Prairie, isn't it, Anne with an E? I do like that. John Parrish says, I wonder why... One moment. I wonder why he's ignoring me. I'm not ignoring you, John. Why are you always worried about being bloody ignored all the time? Do you want me to ignore you completely? Now, let me see. God, he does go on. What? You're always moaning about being ignored. You're not being ignored. You're just not being interesting enough. Be a bit more interesting with something nice to comment instead of running me down all the time and I'll read them out to you. Moan. Another one there. Moaning away because not getting enough attention. Your voice isn't being heard, John. No, it's not being heard. It's not being heard. Have you ever lost a ring, John? Look at this. In the Daily Mirror this morning, wedding rings are very precious and sentimental pieces of jewellery, so losing it in any way is pretty devastating. One woman thought her diamond-encrusted 20th anniversary ring was lost forever when flushed down the loo when she was cleaning the bathroom almost a decade ago. It was heartbreaking. I was embarrassed to tell my husband because it was meaningful. Although years passed and her husband got her a duplicate, Paula still longed for the original and even inquired with the local public works department 2 years ago. Crew Chief Ted Goggle remembered the conversation when he saw something shiny in the mud and sand recently on the shoulder of a pipe leading down from the Stanton's house. The discovery was incredibly fortunate. So how long ago was this? Was this 20 years ago? 20 years ago, was it? Doesn't say. The discovery was incredibly fortunate, given that there are 1,100 manholes in Summers Point, the area where the house is. When he realised what it was, he left a note for the family asking them to call the department. I was thrilled, stunned, I could not believe it, she said. That ring did not want to leave her family, said Ted. There were so many things that could have happened. It could have been washed away, it could have been crushed, but it was just meant to be. After thoroughly cleansing the ring with peroxide and lemon juice, Paula now wears it again and vows not to let it out of her sight. Oh, that's a nice story, isn't it? There must be, I suppose there's a lot of people who have lost wedding rings and things like that over the years. Have you ever lost anything like that? A wedding ring or anything like that over the years? Just imagine, because they're expensive things, aren't they? I'm really not one for jewellery at all. I just don't see the point in having a piece of gold or a diamond or anything like that, or a necklace or a bracelet or an expensive... I would buy a watch to tell the time. I wouldn't buy a watch because it says Rolex and it's encrusted with diamonds and gold. I have no jewellery. Look. Nothing. I have no jewellery. Rings, well, I was married for a while, 1983 that was. And I had a ring, I had a wedding ring. I hated wearing it. Not because it was a wedding ring, but because it was a ring. And it was just rubbing against my fingers all the time. Horrible things, rings. How can anyone wear them and bits and pieces? And one of my friends, he had this Rolex watch, I kid you not, £10,000. And I went to be his best man at his wedding, which was in St. Lucia. This would be maybe 1999, somewhere around there, St. Lucia. And we're on the beach, and he's got this watch on, this Rolex watch. And he takes it off and throws it on the towel and goes in the water. £10,000 watch. I'd just be worried that it'd get lost all the time. And people lose stuff, don't they? Earrings and all that business. I did have earrings as a young man in my 20s. Great big things they were like that. I don't know what I look like. And tall, spiky hair. Fortunately, there's no pictures of me looking like that. Strange. Adrian, if I run down, you might damage my car. Not good. I'm being cheap now. Don't you run that. Don't you worry about your car, Adrian. Don't you worry about that. I won't be scratching the side along there if you park in my space, my friend. John, on my ex-wife. What, you lost a ring there, did you as well? Rings. Katie, my wedding ring was stolen. Here you are, see? See? So people, I'm sure people probably watch other people. Don't they? And what jewellery they've got on. Oh, that's quite a nice lot of jewellery. We'll go round to his house later and nick all his stuff. And expensive paintings. I just don't desire expensive things in my life. I really don't. I don't. If I buy something, it's got to be for a purpose. Now, for example, in this caravan, I would like a larger television. But I'm not going to buy an expensive television for in here, in case it gets nicked. I want a second-hand 50-inch job. I've got a 32-inch at the moment, which my sister kindly gave me, which I'll probably see if I can put in the bedroom somehow. Not that I don't really watch television in bed. I've got a television in my bedroom at the house in Bracknell. Again, only a 32-inch basic telly, but it's got an alarm on it, and I use that as a wake-up alarm. Have you got an alarm on? Anyone else use the alarm on their telly? Not all tellies have got them. The LG ones have, I think, and that works quite well there. Thank you for the smiley faces, Mr. Stafford. Thank you. Adrian, I know two guys. They have... I'm not reading that. Oh, come on, Adrian. Please. Please, wind that in. That'll have to be deleted. There are children watching this, dear. Come on. If you were someone I didn't know, I'd block you for that comment. I'd just remove it. There you are, it's gone. Dear me. Naughty person. Amazon, who gets stuff from Amazon? Now, I learnt something last night. My niece's husband, I was ordering my nephew's Christmas present. Now, Jimmy, if you are watching the show, which is extremely unlikely, turn the sound off now, because I'm about to reveal to the millions and millions of people all over the world that join us every morning for this enthralling episode of United Kingdom Talk. I'm going to tell them what I've got you for Christmas. Have you gone? Good. So my what would you call him? Nephew-in-law, I suppose. So my niece's husband has informed me, and I'd been stuck for a Christmas present for my nephew, the younger nephew, Jimmy, 21, that he keeps borrowing their Bluetooth Bose speaker. It's only a small thing, not massively long. Now, I blooming well saw these when I was in Vegas, and they were a very good price, and I thought, shall I buy one of those? But I was kind of looking for myself, you see, and I thought, well, and this is what I'm like buying stuff. Well, am I going to use that? And I'm thinking, no, you're not going to use that, are you? When are you going to use a Bluetooth speaker? Never. Don't use one now. Why would I use one? So I didn't buy it, but they were really good price there. Then I find out, only the other day, that he keeps borrowing my nephew-in-law's Bluetooth speaker. She said, and my niece said, why don't you get one of those? I said, okay, that's good. So I started on Amazon, right? And they were like, well expensive. To the point of not actually wanting to buy that item now because I'd just seen the price. And my niece's husband says, he said, what are you looking on? I said, Amazon. He said, oh, no, you want to Google it? He said, don't you Google stuff before you buy them? I said, well, no, I just ordered them off Amazon. Isn't that the cheapest place? He said, no, you're having a laugh, aren't you? He said, Google it. The difference was over £100 by Googling it. And would you like to know where from? You'll die when I tell you. Curry's. Of all places, Curry's was by far the cheapest. There was £100 difference. I don't mind telling you the price. Amazon, £229, I think it was. Curry's, £119. Free delivery. So I learnt something last night. I shall make sure I do that in future. I just automatically assumed that when you go on Amazon, you kind of get, say a speaker, Bose Bluetooth speaker, and the cheapest one would always be at the top, with various different places you can buy it from. £100 different, and we checked the models. It was a Mark II, like or Series 2, something like that. Everything was the same. £100 difference in the price of Amazon and the price with a Google search on Curry's. Unbelievable. So I ordered that last night. Well, blow me down, I've got a text this morning telling me they're going to deliver it tomorrow. Unfortunately, I'm not in, so I've got to redo the text them back and tell them when I'm going to be in. £100. Did you know that? I've just automatically ordered some of this stuff off Amazon. I never bothered to check. There's a lot of difference there. Katie doesn't need her ring anymore. Neither me neither, Katie. We don't need other halves, do we, Katie? We're quite happy on our own. Do you know what, Katie? I was talking about this the other day. I don't think I could ever sleep with anyone again. Mind you, I had a lot of trouble when the offers were coming. I could never sleep with people, and I'd have to go into the spare room. I give it an hour, I can't get to sleep. You know, you're feeling it's too hot in the bed, or they fart, or something like that. Oh, God's sake, man. How do people sleep with other people? It's disgusting. I'm sure humans are not supposed to sleep with each other. It's different if you're cats or dogs, you know, because you're out in the open. Humans, you're out in the open. So if someone does fart or smell a bit, right, that will dissipate in the air, won't it? If you're in bed with someone, you've got the covers on, oh no, oh, awful. Or they might wet the bed. That's not nice, Katie, is it? I mean, it's all right if you wet the bed yourself. That's bad enough. But if someone pisses all over your leg, I'm sorry, I'm not having any of that. Ghastly people, dear. Ghastly people. Craig says, block me, I love it. No, I'm not going to block you because you asked for it, so you're not getting that. Good morning to Mr. Gregorio. Christ, you're late this morning. Have you just got up? What sort of time do you call this? We've had a wait of a time this morning. So much better after yesterday's show, which I thought was absolute crap. Jeannie D, my wife lost her wedding ring. Trouble is, she was still attached to it. I haven't seen her since. John saw the tree blow up yesterday. I've had a word with my niece about that, buying me dodgy gifts. Oh dear. Adrian, you must use Price Runner. That shows you the best price. I've never heard of such thing. Was it Price Runner? Okay. Price Runner. What, is that an app or a website? Shall I try that now? Price, would you say? Is that all one word? Price Runner. Oh, don't let me type this in now and find it even cheaper. That happens a lot, doesn't it? Compare with Price Runner. Oh, okay, right. Price Runner. Search for products. Okay, right. So, Bose Bluetooth speaker. There it is. Mini 2. Mini 2. Ah! £119 from Curry's. I got the best deal. Yes, indeed. I got the best deal. And it's a speaker. You see, my nephew, and he's been borrowing my nephew-in-law's one to go when he goes away, because he goes away a lot. Not necessarily on a holiday. He goes to see football matches. He's a massive football fan, my nephew, to the point of it being annoying. You know, one of those. Every 5 minutes, he's got his bloody mobile phone out, checking the latest score of the Chelsea match or Lincoln that he supports. But he has also got his business, and he takes it to work, and he connects his mobile phone and plays stuff through there, I suppose. I don't know. So that's a nice present to get someone, don't you think? Thank you for that, Adrian. Price Runner, I'll remember that one. Hello to UK English. Good morning, darling, to you as well. Good morning, darling. I love it. That's a nice thing to say. You know, a lot of ladies are offended by that now. What did you call me? I said, hello, darling. Oh, that's really offensive. You're lucky anyone called you that, you ugly old cow. Cheeky cow. They moan and they moan. Just like the people who keep losing competitions, moaning their heads off. I'm glad you enjoy the show. It's only supposed to be a bit of fun most of the time. Sometimes people try and get a little bit serious, but I try and pass that by. Katie says we learn lots of stuff on here. Do you think so? I wish I could learn. Paul and Lou, I haven't talked to my wife in 3 weeks. I didn't want to interrupt her. That is good. That is good. Adrian, I think it's cheap at Costco. Motion on there, believe. Do you know, I've been to Costco. I don't like it in there. That is one of the most soulless places in the world. The other soulless place in the world that I'm so pleased was closed down is Toys R Us. I went in there once in Reading. Me and my mate went into Toys R Us. It was a few Christmases ago. And we went in there. It was absolutely soulless in there. All it is stacks and stacks of presents and boxes. There's no music. There was no staff walking around being jolly or anything like that. It was one of the most depressing places ever, Toys R Us, to be in. And at the other end of the scale, somewhere I'm going next week, Hamleys in London. What a wonderful place that is. Me and my mate will be there Tuesday, probably about midday, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, to do a little bit of Christmas shopping. I actually don't need to go this year because I've already sorted out my nephew and his family's. I now buy them one present for the whole lot, which is actually a little holiday. Little holidays. My nephew and his wife and their family, they're going to Legoland. My niece and her family will be going to Disney, Euro Disney, but they can't tell me yet because they're going to Cyprus. They're going to live in Cyprus for a few years. And that's where I'll be going in March. I'll hopefully spend I don't know if I should go for 1 week or 2 weeks. I might just make it a week because I don't know if I like Cyprus or not. Although I've never come across anyone that doesn't. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to be stuck 2 weeks somewhere where I think, oh, I don't know about it here. Do you know what I mean? So I think I might just go for a week there in March. But I don't know how it all works yet. So their present's kind of on hold. Meantime, I'm taking them to a pantomime, which is around here, for their Christmas present. So that the holiday is kind of on hold. So I'm kind of really don't need to go to Hamleys this time. But it's a nice day out. It's a nice day out. My mate, he's got lots wrong with him. Back and wrist and all sorts of problems in his lungs and all that. So he's got one of those disabled pass things that you can park in disabled spots. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean, certainly in London, that it's easy to park. I'm going to sneeze. Stand by for a Chris Reardon sneeze. You'll enjoy it. Oh, God's sake. I have to tell you, this is all right for asthma, but there's nothing like a sneeze for clearing those airways. Wonderful, dear. So the whole Hamleys thing, yeah, so he's got a disabled card, you know, to park his car, but it can still be incredibly difficult to find a car parking space. But that's what we do. So Tuesday he'll come round at whatever time, and we'll jump in the car. We'll go have a look around Hamleys. I don't think he's got to buy many toys either. But we'll have a look in there anyway. It's on like 3 or 4 stops. Upstairs we'll have a piece of cake and a cup of tea. And then we'll walk down Oxford Street and Regent Street looking at the lights. Maybe pop into John Lewis, some of the other shops in there. There's, I think it's in Carnaby Street. There's this little kind of it's like a Japanese shop. But it's not like Japanese food. It's just little things in there. And we like going in there. It's really clean. Ever so clean. There's a lot of white in there, a lot of white coloured things. I bought a modern cuckoo clock in there once for my sister, actually, for Christmas. I think it was either Christmas or birthday. I bought her a cuckoo clock, and that's it. The kids love that. There's a button on there, so you can make the cuckoo come out, even when it's not tied. They push the button. Cuckoo, cuckoo. I love it. Love it. John gets up 3 hours early in the morning so I can hate my wife longer. You're so cruel. Oh, let's have a look. John Paris. Nice Greek boys. Is there really? What, in Cyprus? Oh, I'll have to lose that weight again when I was looking at myself in the mirror yesterday. I'm not happy. Not happy. Round my niece's last night. I went round my niece's last night. We had pizza and ice cream and crisps. Terrible, really. Adrian, I should come shopping with me. I am soul shopping. The staff know me. Where? Where do you go? What, at Hamleys? Do you go Hamleys shopping, Adrian? Cake, yes. Cake. We all love cake. Amazon. How'd you get on with Amazon? Have you ever found stuff left outside your door? I kid you not, I had a laptop left outside my door once from Amazon. That is absolutely true. Got back from swimming and there it is, propped up at the door. Well, a lot of stuff is stolen from front doors. In the Sun this morning, cops are filling dummy Amazon parcels with secret GPS trackers to catch porch bandits stealing Christmas presents from outside people's homes. The boom in online shopping has led a huge rise in thefts of packages from unsuspecting residents during the festive period. This is happening in America. Cops in New York have teamed up with the shopping giant Amazon to install doorbell cameras. I've got one of those. Very good. Ring. Mine is made by Ring. They're fantastic, they are. Doorbell cameras and plant specially tracked boxes at homes across the city. After setting their first traps on Tuesday, officers didn't have to wait long for someone to take the bait and get their first arrest. We had a box out on the street for 3 minutes before it was taken, said the policeman in New York. We thought it was a mistake at first. Exact figures on porch thefts are hard to come by, but it's an estimated 26 million Americans. Have you ever had anything left on your porch when you haven't asked for it, or outside the front door, or somewhere like that? Have you? What was it? Tell me what it was. Amazon, which is providing the equipment for free for the operation, declined to provide figures on how many packages are reported stolen or missing, as did UPS and FedEx. We absolutely report them to local law enforcement when they hear them and encourage our customers to do the same. So it goes on a lot. With bait packages, some will be under video surveillance and some will have GPS tracking devices. So that's interesting in America, and that's an awful lot of stuff getting nicked, isn't it? As I say, I don't think I've ever had anything nicked from the front door, but certainly stuff has been left out there. And to leave a laptop outside our front door is just astounding to me. Also, it also fascinates me sometimes where occasionally the postman or postwoman, sometimes they knock on the door, there'd be no one in, and they'd take the parcel back, which is infuriating because I don't know what your post office sorting office is like when you go and pick your stuff up, but certainly for me it's an absolute pain in the arse to go there and wait in that queue. And don't matter how long the queue is, the bloke or the woman sorting the parcel, there's only ever one there, and they go at the speed of a blooming snail. They really do. Awful. And I hate going there to the post office sorting office. Does my head in, that does. But other times, they knock on my neighbour's door and they take it in. Why don't they just knock on the neighbour's door all the time? Mad, isn't it, really? It's funny how it works like that. Jeannie D's going to Gran Canaria for a month next June to avoid the hay fever. Oh, Jeannie, that's hot there at that time of year, isn't it, girl? Very, very hot at that time of the year, Jeannie D. But you like the heat, don't you, my love? You like the heat. I went to Gran Canaria 3 years on the trot. My score there, Jeannie D, in 1 week was 35. I think that's pretty good, don't you? Adrian, I don't have problems with porch bandits. No, I'll come. There is my front door. I leave mine open. No one comes through it anymore. I'm hoping one day I might leave my front door open and the Portuguese football team will come in. Something like that. Adrian reported I didn't receive it. They sent me a new item, meaning I had two. You didn't lie, did you, to get 2 laptops or whatever it was that you ordered? I'd be very, very disappointed if you're a liar. I hope not, John. Katie lives in a small town. Yeah. Katie's in a small town. Why did you tell us that, Katie? Hang on a minute. What were we talking about there? I've kind of lost that. Have I lost? Was I talking about something there? You said I live in a small town. Why have you told us that? Tell me why you told us that, because I don't know why you've told us that. Good. Right. So let's see if we can get that from Katie before we carry on. No, where's Katie? Drones. Oh, you got 2 drones, have you? Are they good? I thought about buying a drone. I could do a little bit of filming like that, but do you know, I think a drone is something I'd use for 2 weeks, then it would go back in the box again. Like computer games. I bought a lovely computer game some years ago now. It was a Wi-Fi, was it a Wii, W-I-I? And I bought games for it and everything. Well, I used it 3 times. Went back in the box, never to be used again. What a waste of money that was. So, and I think a drone would be the same, to be honest. I don't think I'd use it. I'd love a drone to be able to, perhaps I could borrow one to be able, you know, like my opening videos. I could do really good opening videos with a drone, have this thing flying over and kind of slowly zooming into the caravan, and then it would mix to me and the show would start. Something like that, you know. You get some really good aerial shots, but I can't see what else I really would use it for. Really? No, I wouldn't probably use it for anything else. Hello to Dana Taylor in New Zealand. Good morning to you. We're about to finish, I'm afraid. You're a little bit late for this morning, but thank you very much. Hello to Mac. Good morning, Mac. Are you growing the beard? No. This is about the length I like it, Mac. I've got one of those things, Wow. Is it Wow? W-A-H-L? One of those things. As you know, Mac, I'm up in Lincolnshire most of the time, so I'm getting my hair cut here when I'm up here. which unfortunately is most of the time, which was why I haven't been into your place. But he's got one, and it's much better than mine. He gets a much better cut than mine, I must say. The one I've got is a bit, it's a bit puffy, if you don't mind me saying so. Mine's, I don't know. I mean, his goes like that, and I'm really pleased. And the same with your one as well, you know. But I suppose that's a professional hairdresser's one. That's why it works better, I would guess. Mine isn't as good as this. This is as far as I want it. I don't want it like down here or anything like that. Not because I like tomato soup, you see, and it would be dipping into my tomato soup. All right, Mac. Katie, we don't have trouble with the post office. Ah, because you're in a small town. I get it now. Thank you, Katie. Right, going shopping at Westfield. Adrian's off to shopping at Westfield. Gets free parking. They're not paying £8. Good luck to you. Amazon delivers certain items by drone. Where is that, John? Is that in America? I don't think that happens here yet. Do they really? Or is that something they're trying out at the moment? Okie doke, gang. Let's do today's birthdays. We've only got 3 this morning on this Thursday the 13th. I can't believe it's Thursday again. Do you know, the time I'm up here goes really quickly here in Lincolnshire. I'm up here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, usually like Monday night. No. I get it Tuesday morning, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I go back Friday afternoon for work. It goes so quickly up here. Not only that, I'm not cold here anymore because I've got this mobile gas fire in the caravan. I wasn't sure about the vent. It says it needs good ventilation. Well, I've got 3 kind of, and perhaps there's someone who knows this who's watching the show this morning. I've got 3 vents in that particular room, which were about 6 inches long and about 2 inches wide. So 6, 2, and they're like vents at sort of a high level. There's one that side. No, that one's slightly lower there, and there's 2 on the other side in the room. Is that enough for ventilation? I am on a static caravan Facebook group, and I put on there what did people think, and a lot of people were saying no, the moisture's really bad and all that, this, that and the other, you don't want to use it, or you can die from carbon monoxide poison. Well, I've also got 4 alarms in the caravan. 2 carbon monoxide alarms, carbon dioxide alarms. Carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide? Are they both the same? I don't know. They're like these white things you pin up on the ceiling. I've got 2 of those, and 2 smoke alarms as well, and the vents. But there are people on the static caravan group saying that you can get terrible amounts of moisture and everything will be wet. Well, I've had them for 2 nights now. I don't have them on all night. Don't get me wrong. They do not stay on while I'm asleep. No, they're on while I'm in the living room and first thing in the morning. It heats up the room incredibly quickly. Much quicker than any electric fire, I tell you that now. This mobile gas heater. So I've actually got 2 gas heaters in there now. One's the one that's installed and has got a flue going up, and the mobile one. The mobile one is so good. And I've had it on for a couple of nights in here while I've been watching the telly before I go to bed. There's no moisture. None. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit on the windows. There is no moisture. So I would assume that, number one, I've got double glazing, which probably helps in here. And the ventilation must be good. Otherwise, I'd get a build-up of moisture. Does that sound about right to you? What do you reckon? Anyone know anything about that? I'd appreciate that just before I go today. So we do today's birthdays. Or did I just do them already? Oh, God. Where are we? Do you know where you're going to? Do you know the things that life is showing you? Where are you going to? Do you know? Birthdays. Chris Lotz today is 46 years old. Good morning, Chris. He pops in now and again to watch the show. Morning, Chris. Happy birthday. Gary Hibbert. Good morning, Gary. Happy birthday to you. And Patrick Hoy. Now, if you're in America, you may well have seen Patrick Hoy on QVC. QVC. Ba, 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 ba. He's a QVC host. Not here in the UK, but in America. So Patrick Hoy, happy birthday to you, and the other 2, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, Patrick, Gary, and Patrick, and Chris. Sorry, Chris, Gary, and Patrick. Happy birthday to you. Did you like the vibration of my voice then? 3 birthdays today. Happy birthday to you all, boys and girls, okay? That's it. Okay. No one's got any advice on the mobile gas heaters, so I'll just go with it, I think, and hopefully I won't die from carbon monoxide poisoning or anything like that. That's it for the show today. Thanks ever so much for joining us, boys and girls. Much better than yesterday. I was not pleased with yesterday's show, dear. Perhaps you weren't either, but we're too nice to say anything. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and hopefully I'll see you either tomorrow morning or a little bit later tonight, one of the two. All right? Enjoy your day. Thanks for watching and listening. Bye-bye now.